So from screaming matches on the House floor to calls of protest outside the Treasury and Labor Departments, Democrats seem to be mobilizing now to confront the seemingly unchecked power at the hands of tech giant Elon Musk. Among those speaking out, Texas Rep. Julie Johnson.
I want my neighbors back home to know that, like you, I am angry and I'm furious about the constitutional crisis caused by the Trump administration. They are handing over our data and private information to people who should not have access to it. They are firing patriotic civil servants, they are purging FBI agents, and they are trying to eliminate agencies like the USAID. All of this is unconstitutional. We must protect the American people and our allies from this coup.
And the Democratic Congresswoman joins me now. Good to see you, Congresswoman. Let's start first, if you don't mind, with the breaking news. The federal judge temporarily blocking Trump's buyout offer to the 2 million federal workers. He says it's all about decreasing, saving money, putting more back into what taxpayers want. But your reaction to this?
Well, it's not surprising to me at all that the federal judge would block his attempts to lay off 2 million federal workers, which is an outrageous assault on our safety, actually. You know, as your story before you highlighted, you know, many of these employees work for the CIA, they work in law enforcement, they work in our intelligence, they work in our healthcare space, they process our checks, they do all the things in cybersecurity. You know, we had a hearing yesterday just on the woeful need of cybersecurity employees and how detrimental the administration's attempts on this issue are to that cause. So, you know, what's happened is the Trump administration has launched all of these ridiculous, insane power grabs, and Democrats have filed lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, and Democrats are winning lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit because what the Trump administration is doing is just absolutely illegal and unconstitutional.
So let's talk about Democrats like you seem to be finding your footing after weeks of disarray coming off a tough election loss. Is that because your party has just decided to take on the Trump administration and Elon Musk more aggressively, something that a lot of Democratic voters have been hoping for?
Well, what the Trump administration has done is an absolute overreach of everything. You know, I don't think any right-minded, sound individual would ever think that the president of the United States would turn over the American people's personal data, personal financial information, personal health records to an independent third party, not subject to the controls and boundaries and the safety protocols, the cybersecurity protections that the federal government has. None of us ever thought the United States president would compromise the American people's financial security in such a way. And so Democrats have taken a robust response. We're using every tool possible to stop this. But where are the Republicans in this? Where are the Republicans in the House? Where are the Republicans in the Senate calling this out, understanding that this is so harmful to their constituents as well as mine?
And as you know, these cuts and slashes that Elon Musk is making, normally you need to involve Congress and get Congress's approval. Are you concerned about the Democrats' ability just to maintain congressional oversight, especially when it comes to Elon Musk and what he's doing over the next 4 years?
Well, you know, the Democrats are in the minority right now, and we're doing absolutely everything we can to exercise our constitutional oversight rules. We have 3 special elections. Maybe the people will actually vote Democrats in there and put the Democrats back in charge of the House to balance out the levers of power again. We'll have an intervening election in 2026, but there's a lot of tactics and tools that we are using to exercise our opportunities within the minority party. But again, I say, where are the Republicans in the House? Where are the Republicans in the Senate? The administration is trying to take away the duly appointed powers of the legislative branch, and they have no authority to do that. The legislative branch has the power of the purse. We pass the appropriations. We decide how the appropriations are to be allocated and how the money of the federal government is spent. Then it's the executive's job to go and enact those requirements. The executive does not have the power to just decide they're not going to enforce the laws that are passed by the Congress. But where are the Republicans? their silence is deafening? Why are they not standing up for the separation of powers our framers so brilliantly put forth all those years ago?
Republicans like what Elon Musk is doing, what Trump is doing, so they don't care. But at the same time, as you pointed out, you know, they're breaking the law and protocol here. So what are you guys going to do?
Well, we've been doing what we're doing. We filed lots of lawsuits, as I said before, just like as the question of the hour today. You know, the court restricted the administration from doing what they're doing. You know, the court restricted the administration on the spending freeze as well. You know, the courts are acting in their role as the independent third branch of government, the judiciary, to have the checks and balances of power. And us in Congress, we're working with many groups. We're working with many groups that have the standing in order to file these lawsuits, to provide them the information and the data possible. And then we have some legislative things. I believe the leader's office, Hakeem Jeffries, is also working on some legislation to be filed as well.
But you know what happens when, you know, folks like Elon Musk are going to flood the zone here. There could be lots and lots of lawsuits. All that gets caught up in court. And meanwhile, they just keep cutting and slashing. So do you see a moment where you think you'll even be able to catch up and block even more of what he says he plans to do?
Right. You know, they're leading through chaos by design. They're trying to just flood the zone, overwhelm the sensibilities of pragmatic folks who cannot believe they're undertaking this blatant power grab, this blatant disregard for our constitutional boundaries. And, you know, they're hoping that we'll get overwhelmed. But Democrats are focused. We are lasering in. We are winning on the battles, and we're stopping these atrocious acts the best that we can.
One more question, if you don't mind. As a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, your reaction to Trump's plan to take over Gaza and build the, quote, Riviera of the Middle East?
It is absolutely outrageous. He wants to engage in ethnic cleansing of an entire area, tell millions of people they have no right to return home so he can build a Mar-a-Lago Part 2 and enrich his own pockets. Our foreign policy is not designed to benefit the pocketbook of the President of the United States. Our foreign policy is designed to promote peace and stability throughout the world so that we can have peace and stability at home.
Congresswoman Julie Johnson, appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.